want to put in place a database that offers the Kenyan diaspora a one-stop point where you can access information on investment, where you can access information on how to get tax breaks, because we must offer the diaspora incentives for you to send your money here in investment. So we need to discuss tax breaks. We need to, if you're offering foreign investors tax holidays to put their money here, why shouldn't we offer our own nationals tax holidays for the money you bring here to invest in key sectors of the economy? So yes, the key financial instruments required to ease the participation of the diaspora in the financial, in the economic life of this country is something the presidency of William Ruto will be committed to realizing and implementing for the diaspora. An unequivocal yes.
Also gone way beyond our time. Some of the questions that were all coming in the same version of those two main questions, and I think you've answered that clearly. So at this moment, we want to say thank you very much. We also have a lot of people online who are thanking you for actually granting us this time. I know it's late back in Kenya, but you being with us to explain this, and also the commitment that knowing that we have a government that will be looking out for the diaspora. So we want to thank you, Mheshimiwa, for that. We did have a few other leaders who are trying to join in, but we can conclude by just saying we want to continue with this discussion. We want to see right now, since the party primaries are done and we know who our flag bearers are, and as we rally behind them on the diaspora point, we also want to keep engaging all the leaders. So one of the key things we're going to ask you, Mheshimiwa, is tell the other leaders if they have a minute or so. We'll be more than happy to listen to them and continue this conversation. Otherwise, we want to thank you very much for your time. We'll continue this conversation. We have your contact, so if any other questions arise from anybody, we will write to you, and once you answer us, we'll make sure that all our constituents here, all their questions are answered. We want to thank you, and God bless you.
Asante sana, Sam. Okay. It's a formidable team that we have put together, and Sam, I can assure you, Kenya Kwanza is forming the next government.
Thank you very much. I know I had Njoroge who was going to come in. I don't know if he's still there. He had a question actually for you, Mheshimiwa, before we finish it. Njoroge, I'll give you this 1 minute, just 1 minute to ask Mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. I'm so happy to hear that you have the Diaspora Charter that is going to be formed. I wanted to say that there are many things that diaspora can do, and I know I don't have much time. If I had time, I think we need another forum where we can have more time to elaborate on these issues. As you said, diaspora can be ambassadors, and I am a good example here. I have been selling Kenyan coffee here in the US, and I can tell you, if the Kenya Kwanza government can engage some of us who are entrepreneurs here, Kenyan coffee has a very great potential. There is no reason why these people should be mixing our coffee with inferior coffees. Yet people want to consume Kenyan coffee. Just the other week, I was in a gas station trying to get coffee, and the machine broke down, and the manager came to help me, and he told me the best coffee he had took was from Kenya, and he didn't know I was from Kenya. We were in a group of people. He was just telling us. Number two is treasury bills. We need to educate Kenyan diasporans because they're trying to invest at home, but it's challenging. We can invest through the treasury bills. Another thing is infrastructure. I don't see why you should be going out to borrow money in a very expensive interest rates when you can engage Kenyans. We can really help the government in financing some of these expensive projects, and we get back money instead of sending all the money to China and other places. Diaspora invest in Kenya, and we keep our money in Kenya. The money, the interest government pays to us, we still keep it in Kenya instead of sending all these interest rates out of the country. There's so many things, and I'm happy that this is going to be formed. And there's no reason why we should continue spending billions of shillings marketing tourism, yet we can put tourism, tea, coffee together, because people don't know Kenya grow tea. People don't know Kenya grow coffee. They hear it from us. So we can put this as a package. I had a meeting with KTDA here. I hosted them here. And I told them all they need is to have an agency in the US financed by Kenyan government and market Kenyan coffee and tea here. And Americans, once they get Kenyan tea, to know Kenyan coffee, we should not have a problem with marketing our coffee. There's so many things. I hope once this charter is formed, we can sit down and have these things discussed, and we have a lot we can offer. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ninakubali asilimia mia. That's what we are saying. All you need is to be given a runway and you'll fly. And Kenya Kwanza is telling you we want to offer that runway for these brilliant ideas, the initiative, the effort of the diaspora to fly. Good thing is we are winning this election, guys. We are winning this election. And because we know there's too much at stake to even dare think about losing this election. And please put in your all. And thank you very much for the support you're according the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and UDA as a party. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you, Mheshimiwa. There's a question here that has also come from a lot of people. I'm going to have Danson actually, if you have that, to ask Mheshimiwa that question. It's regarding the youth. And I know we ran out of time, but I did talk to the people in the studio. They granted us a few more minutes so these questions can be answered. This is very important to the youth back home and here in America. Danson, if you can ask that question.
Actually, it was from Victoria. So, Victoria, please.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, there's one question that is very, very important to us as a diaspora youth. It is in regard to how we're experiencing a lot of brain drain from Kenya. There are a lot of youth who want to move, they want to sort out greener pastures. But then on the other side, we also have a lot of youth who are in the diaspora, one of them being myself, who wants to come back home and do a lot of things back home, and for us to be able to have brain gain in Kenya. However, what we're seeing is that there's a limitation in terms of opportunities, not only job opportunities, but proper business opportunities and healthy a business environment. How can we be able, or rather, what is Kenya Kwanza doing in regard to this, as losing all these resources with the youth who are outside here is something that is very, very touchy and a huge loss for our nation. How can we be able to change that?
Victoria, Danson, Sam, I have no doubt that given a choice of whether to exploit an opportunity or to walk through a door of opportunity in Kenya or in Denmark or the US, you'd actually choose to walk through a door of opportunity in Kenya. And a lot of our young people are exiting Kenya because there's no door of opportunity. Every door of opportunity is slammed right in your face. It does not matter how well educated you are. It does not matter how enterprising you are. It does not matter how much hard graft you put in. What matters is like your last name. And so one of those things that you ask is, na wewe unatoka wapi? Kwenu ni wapi? What is your tribe? Who do you know? I mean, reminds me of the famous words of Martin Luther King when he says, I have a dream that one time in this land, my 4 little children will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. We must forge a country where people stop being judged by where they come from or who they know, but they are judged on merit. And so one of the things that a Kenya Kwanza government must do to forestall this brain drain that hits our economy and our development agenda really hard is to run a meritorious system and to start moving Kenya to a merit-based society where you become what you deserve by your learning, by your skill set, by your hard work, by your graft. And if we are able to do that, I believe that many young Kenyans, confident they can compete in a setup that is merit-based, would be very comfortable to seek opportunities here in Kenya. And so it's really make this country more equitable. And so even the whole bottom-up actually is about inclusivity. In fact, the other name for bottom-up is inclusivity. Kenya is a very exclusive society, very, very exclusive. That is why even the difference between the rich and the poor in this country is criminal, is absolutely criminal. And doors of opportunity are just not available to our very enterprising young people. So Kenya Kwanza will seek to have a more inclusive society, and most importantly, open doors of opportunity based on merit. So that even if you're out there, Victoria, you should not have any issues about coming back home, even if partially or partly. You could still do your thing in Denmark and still do your thing in Kenya, knowing that either way, merit is the password. The password in the Kenya Kwanza government is merit.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Muhesh. As we conclude, I have to ask you this question because it's from Atlanta, Georgia. They are saying that your office received a letter from University of Georgia. They wanted to have a session with the deputy president. They haven't had any feedback. Even the governor of Georgia was asking about the same. So I don't know how is that arrangement going on.
I did make, I did communicate on this matter verbally, indicating that in the circumstances where we are now, with 3 months to the election, it will be very difficult to parachute His Excellency the Deputy President out of this jurisdiction to any corner of the world. And I did indicate that if it is possible for him to have a virtual interaction, that could be arranged. But a physical trip is quite difficult in the circumstances we are in now. And I want to tell our good friends also that the immediate last 2-3 weeks have really been dedicated to managing the space around the party primaries. We had that huge program of our NDC, the National Delegates Convention, which again was really, really historic. And those of you who had occasion to watch that convention live, it was something else. It was a blast. And then immediately after that, we had to go quickly to get into the infrastructure of the party primary. So it has been a very heavy period. And you have a hands-on party leader who wants to be available, who wants to be, he wants to solve problems, he wants to engage. You've seen how hands-on he's been even with the party primaries. And so it has been a very, very busy period. We appreciate the invitation. But it is really heavy. And by the way, remember you're talking about a party that is just a year old. UDA is 1 year old. So what is going on actually, what this party is doing is completely incredible. It's stupendous, really, considering that we're just a year old in this political jungle. And so please get to our friends in Atlanta and find out whether we could arrange a virtual. His Excellency would be available for a virtual. A physical is a bit of a challenge, but you can assure them that among his first interactions as newly elected 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of this republic, will be that interaction in a physical sense, because we'll be bringing the president to the US after the elections.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. I'll communicate the same to them. Thank you. Sam, you can wrap up.
And there's much more you can see on the screen there. This is one of the questions that has also garnered a lot of interest by our viewers on there. They just want you to comment on the oil shortage in Kenya. We do know that it's a majority of Kenyans are suffering because of this, and we are also actually affected directly or indirectly because of this, depending on what kind of businesses we have back home, and you know, our families that are back home, they need to either go to the hospital or something of the sort. So if you can comment on that, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Thank you.
It's a very dire situation. Again, it's an unprecedented situation. Even at our very worst, when what you imagine was the rock bottom, we have never experienced this. We have never really gone through this. So this is it's a horrible situation. Even for us who are on the campaign trail, it is extremely difficult. The other day, I had to abandon my Jeep somewhere in the bushes because I ran out of gas, and I had to find alternative ways of movement. So it's very difficult, and Kenyans are really suffering. And you're seeing long queues outside petrol stations, gas stations. Our border sector, which employs a lot of our young people, has been very hard hit. And my heart really goes out to the young whose livelihood is dependent on the border industry. So it's a terrible thing. But what is really annoying is the attempt to blame the Ukrainian situation or the Russian invasion of Ukraine, to blame that for this, because it's just not true. And this problem is a problem of cartelling, okay? This is one sector. The oil, the fuel, the energy sector is a sector that is in the clutches of cartels and profiteers who really don't give a hoot as far as the suffering of the ordinary people is concerned. And a government whose cavalier attitude, a government whose casual attitude to this matter has not helped the situation. And so this is something really which, again, the Kenya Kwanza Alliance has taken a position on, that government has mishandled this situation, and we could definitely do better. And it is something that offers this country an opportunity to demolish the cartels and the profiteers that hold the energy sector hostage in this country. You may want to know that even the unit cost of electricity in this country is unreasonably high. And one of the factors of production that makes Kenyan products not competitive, one of the reasons that has driven a lot of investors out of this economy is the cost of electricity. Yet we are in a position, because of our heavy investment in renewable energy, in geothermal power, in wind power, in solar power, we are in a position to deploy very cheap electricity. But because of profiteers, because of cartels, we are not in a position to. And therefore, this is an area which will receive very swift and substantive, comprehensive attention from a Kenya Kwanza government, because really, Kenyans do not deserve the suffering they're being dragged through with this oil situation.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. We have come to the end of our discussion for this evening and this afternoon for most of us. We want to thank you, Mheshimiwa, for your time. We want to thank you for your leadership, too. We have seen the commitment that you have, and if you are committed, we are also going to be committed, because we have seen the steps that you've taken. It's not just by talk, only by action. We saw you resign from government to join Kenya Kwanza, and whatever you're spearheading when it comes to international relations is something that affects us here in diaspora directly. So you're our liaison to the government, and we want to thank you for your time for today for that. I also want to thank all the leaders who were able to join us, all the diaspora chapter leaders. who joined us today. We want to, ask you to keep up the spirit. Don't give up. We just jumped the second last hurdle, so now we're going to the finishing line. Let's rally all our troops around Kenya Kwanza. We do believe in this government that is going to be formed, and we know that Dr. William Samoei Ruto will be our 5th president. So that one we're very confident. We're confident that Kenya Kwanza will, form government, and with majority of parliamentarians, majority of county leaders. So let's do our part and keep that going. We also want to thank our viewers who were able to tune in today. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for following us as we continue. These are conversations that we're going to continue with other leaders to make sure that diaspora voices are heard. Thank you and have a good evening. God bless you all.